episodes. Let's not forget that YouTube. I'm going to make note of that to the people because I want them to see those.
Okay. Hi, everybody. We are here for another great episode with Miss Katrina Walker, entrepreneur, philanthropist, author of the best-selling Unbreakable book. I mean, this book is amazing from the beginning, you guys. You guys know how much I'm an avid reader. I couldn't put this book down. I mean, from the beginning, just tremendous story. Millionaire, entrepreneur, mom, wife, just a true testimony of what success is like, but to keep getting up and keep fighting for your dreams. She's all of that. And I'm sure you guys will get a lot of pivotal words of wisdom, nuggets, and knowledge today. And also, she is the playwright of Miss Dees Kitchen. She's going to talk about that, any upcoming projects that she has. And I'm so honored to have Miss Katrina Walker on with us today. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank God, I'm fine. How are you, Kat?
I'm doing great. I know we just talked a little bit about yourself, but can you give a synopsis of your story and who you are?
Katrina Walker, a mother, um, this child that was born that everybody wondered about me, what is she doing as young as 4 years old? Um, love people, love laughter, love to make folks laugh. I love to cook. I'm just a woman that have worn many hats and still do. That's Katrina Walker in a nutshell.
Okay. So let's talk about your book first and foremost.
Okay.
What made you start your book, and how long did it take you to write it?
Oh, what made me start my book? Just a new chapter in my life. I'll never forget. I was helping a lot of young men that were in the streets at the time, and my life has always evolved around trying to make other folks' life better. And these were young Black men that I just didn't want to see go to jail or end up in no type of serious trouble for life. So I started, I funded. At this time, I had some money, I had a little money, and I funded a record label for them. I told them, nobody's going to kick your door in. How about making some music? So I got started with that. And from that, I just somehow decided that, I know what happened was I went to New York City and I talked to a guy and I told him, I said, I want to be in that magazine. And he told me that you won't be in that magazine. For matter of fact, Queen Latifah was on the cover. He said, you won't be in that magazine. And to tell Katrina Walker she won't and she can't, you know, I have always been like that all my life. So he said, so tell me something about yourself. So I went to telling him about me. He said, well, what do you do? I knew I didn't tap dance and I couldn't sing. And, well, my nephew always said I could sing, but I couldn't really sing. But I started telling him about my life. He said, you need a book. And I'll never forget. I started writing this book, started writing about myself. And even from the monies that I had put into this record label and these other people, I started thinking, Trina, you are that prize in Cracker Jacks. You that prize that they dig for. You are the prize. And I started writing a book. And I'll never forget a young lady. She said, when I finished my book, she said, you said that you was going to write a book. You really did it. Just like that. I said, well, what's so odd about me doing it? She said, people say all the time that they're going to do things like write a book or do this. She said, but you did it, and that's where it all started from, my book, Unbreakable. And it was a true story. And as I was writing and I started thinking about 4-year-old Katrina Walker growing up and standing up in the kitchen next to my grandmother. And all of us lived in this little it was like little rooms. I remember that, being 4, standing there watching my grandmother cook. And she beating up eggs, and we're in Memphis, Tennessee, and we having family coming from up north, and all of us staying in this one little bitty duplex, but it was so much love. But I remember my grandmother stretching those eggs, and I would say, Muddia, because we called her Muddia. Muddia, what you doing? She said, I'm stretching the eggs. I'm putting some milk in these eggs, and I'm going to stretch them. And all the time I'm thinking, what else we going to have? But by then I'm gone. So I'm at a neighbor's house. I'm over to Miss Verlene's house because I know she got some bacon. And I'm over to Miss Liz's house because I know she got some homemade biscuits and some of that burr rib serves. But at 4 years old, I had already figured out, even though Mother was making those eggs stretch, I had already figured out where I was going to go get my breakfast. But I've been that way all my life at 4. And my mother would tell me sometimes, Trina, shut up, but I would never shut up. And I was just that person everybody loved in the neighborhood. And I don't know if anybody can remember Shirley Temple, this little white girl that would always be around dancing in everybody's house. And I was the little black Shirley Temple in our little neighborhood. When I say little neighborhood in Memphis, it was 3 to 4 streets that black people lived on. And I would say about the 5th street, we were forbidden. You couldn't go over there. It was called Chickasaw Garden. So in my little neighborhood that I grew up in, I was at everybody's house and it was a lot of love. So that's where it started.
Okay. So when I first picked up your book, I know we were talking right before we got on live. I mean, a lot of times, people rock their own story. Sometimes it's a little slow, and it's. Mm-hmm. I mean, you jumped right into it. Like I felt like I love Lifetime, so I felt like it was like Lifetime, Tyler Perry, like your favorite like action thriller love story wrapped up in one, and for the home invasion to start off as that chapter, like what made you start it off in that way, and then to be so vulnerable of your life story?
Because of the many times that death had just like faced me. Death stared me right in the face. And I had just lost my best friend, my mama. My mama was everything to me. So, she had been gone about a couple of years. And when the home invasion, it started with the home invasion because it was such a traumatic. I was not supposed to be here, not even to write the book, to tell the story. When I got out of that home invasion and was able to walk into a place, it was called Victims of Crime in Memphis. I walked in and the lady told me there, she said, you were not supposed to come here. It was supposed to be your family. People don't make it through what you've been through. So the home invasion was something that I had to share, with people, just, I don't know how, I don't know. Well, I do know it was only God's good grace and mercy that allowed me to get through that home invasion, because I know I couldn't stop counting the people in my house. It had to be about 10 with ski masks, saying they were the FBI. And this, by the time I've worked so hard and scuffled so hard to finally have something, that my back door got kicked in and people were running through my house like a bad dream with boots on and FBI jackets saying, get down, get down. And for one of those guys to connect with me, after they took a pistol, a Glock, and bust my head open. One of them pulled my eyelid open and poured hot sauce in my eyes because they couldn't find the bleach. One of them beat me with pool sticks until I turned purple. And one of them said, pick her up and throw on her head and break her neck. My head was about big as a pumpkin. It was big as a pumpkin. And by the time that they left me for dead and told me, laid me in my dog bed and said, you better not hold your head up. And one told me, don't hold your head up. He said, I'll blow your brains out. I held my head back down in my dog bed. So I had to start it off with that, because I'm thinking even now, I wasn't supposed to be here to even tell my story, to even write a book. So that's why I started out that way. And, I just thank God as I laid there and I never gave up on life, and was thinking the whole time through, even though I was handcuffed, duct taped, crawled to the bed, and had someone to, at the time, had my husband at the time to coach him through what to do as he laid in a puddle of blood behind the door, to bust out that tape and just talk him into doing everything. Go in the bathroom, get the scissors. I have some sewing scissors. Cut me a loose. and was able to, my phone is over there up under those papers, dial 911 as I laid my head on the bed. And that's when I was able to tell the police I've been robbed.
But how do you stay? I mean, looking back, and you know how you hear in like different situations when you're in that high intensity environment and not panic. Like, how did you not panic and like be able to think clearly and be smart and saving both of you guys' life?
And that's something that I hear other women, men probably too, but women basically. I have a sister-in-law. She's no longer with us either now. And she often said to me, Trina, they would have killed me because I wouldn't have known what to do. But I think that we all have another, when we get caught in a certain situation, we have what people call a fight or fright. You know what I'm saying? We can't say what we won't do, to live, the will to live. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't say that, okay, I'm just going to let them kill me. I'm just going to. And then you also, whatever a person's spiritual connection, mine is God. I know it was something powerful with me because everything that they talked about doing to me that was bad, they just didn't go through with it. And when I say that, to say hot sauce, if they had poured bleach in my eyes, I would be blind. I wouldn't be able to even see right now. So I feel, this is what I feel from my heart, is that when we have that will to live, I think that we can't say what we will or won't do, And then, like I say, that one guy, as bad and horrible as a person he was, I tried to stay with him, but that one guy saw something in me, apparently, to just kind of, he bonded with me some type of way. I don't know if it was the way that I was talking to him, and I don't know how I was thinking so fast on my toes, but I think that we have another instinct in us, and I would say that will to live more so than we give ourselves credit for. When we're caught up in a certain situation of bad people, or death is facing us, I mean, I that's all I can say as far as me. I really can't say other than sometimes I don't know how I even thought to say the things the questions that he was asking me and the things, because I even said, I don't live here. I don't know how I even thought. And my husband was behind the door. He said he was wondering what was I saying to him, because they took me away and left him behind the door, beating him. But they took me away, tortured me. So I don't know, you think when you want to live.
Wow. So reading in your book, some people like 5 husbands. How does a woman have 5 husbands? Like, was that, from 18, your first marriage, and then you're on husband number 3 by 33?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does someone get there? And was that part of I know it wasn't part of your plan, but I know some women are wondering, like, how the heck do you have 5 husbands?
Women say that to me, and sometimes in a, like looking at me crazy, like, why you got 5 husbands? But what I say to them is, how many boyfriends have you had in your life? Just these guys asked to marry me. Should I have married them? No. But I believe in love and I believe in marriage. If you love somebody, or how do I put this for you all? I got married very young. At I think I was about 18, 19 years old when I married my children's father. I had left and went off to college in Houston. And of course, you got just high school sweetheart or boyfriend. And I don't think this man was even my high school sweetheart. I met him. I didn't even like him, but I ended up liking him and ended up coming back to Memphis, went to Texas Southern. And I had all these great plans and ended up going back to Memphis, got homesick and got married. And I guess I must have thought that, that I was doing something, that I love this guy, that I'm in love. I'm gonna get married. We went right into having children. I had my first baby. You're 19, you're just a kid. So I thought I was a grown woman. And I'll tell any young girl, I can't redo my life, and I wouldn't take nothing for my children. My life is my life, and it's whatever God had intended for me, because I really thought I was gonna go off to college, be a journalist, like an Oprah Winfrey or somebody, maybe on TV talking to somebody. Those were my plans, to go to Houston. Of course, I didn't know Oprah at the time. She wasn't coming on TV back then, but went back to Memphis, and I thought I was, getting married. I think I wanted something I never had. I always, wanted my children, I wanted to have this family like some people might remember Leave It to Beaver, the people that are older, they back in the day, they used to have TV shows where the mom and the dad and the children sat around the table. And I always wanted that. And I never had it as a kid. I always said that I want my children to have a daddy and a mom, and we're going to sit down and eat dinner together and all these other great things. And I just thought I thought I had did it, getting married to him and having these kids. And it wasn't like I thought. He started staying out all night, and I would call my mama, and because he took pictures at a club, and I would call my mother, and I said, Mama, Bobby hadn't made it home yet. Do you think something happened to him? I'd call the hospitals and I'd call the jail, and it wouldn't be no Bobby nowhere to be found. And my mama was a cusser. She'd tell you, back then, them women shot straight from the hip. She'd tell me at 3:00 in the morning, hell, Trina, don't call me no damn more and wake me up. And she used that N-word, Florida. That nigga being there with a long ass lie. So I had to deal with, him not coming home. And he would, sunlight would hit him in the face. He'd come in and sometime want to fight if I asked where you been. And it just, so I stayed with him. I stayed with him because I wanted somebody, I wanted my children to be raised with their father. I had 3 girls and a boy. And I just didn't want another man raising my children. You were hearing about all these horrible stories of molestation and this and that. And I just didn't want to take a chance with my girls and my boy, and I stayed, even though I went through a lot of domestic violence. I mean, fighting and running me through the house. He almost killed me. There was another time I almost died. He threw an iron at me. And my little boy, I threw him on a bunk bed and threw my little girl on the bunk bed. And he kicked the door in and threw an iron at my head. My little boy was 4 years old, and he hollered, Mama, duck. And I ducked, and the iron went straight through the wall. So, I mean, it missed my head barely, but, stayed with him all those years, and even becoming homeless with him, because the money, any money that came in, it was gone. And he got babies on me, and you name it, I went through it. And, I used to go with him sometime and try to help him work and try to manage the money. But quick as money come in, he would take it. And we would have none until I found us packing everything in a 15-passenger van with 2 seats and my 4 children and him, and whatever, some black garbage bags. And off we go, going over to maybe someone's house and pretending that we're visiting, and people would look. And I know they was wondering, when is Trina, going home with those children? But we didn't have a home to go to, And it was pretty bad. It was real bad, but I always figured it out. And I remember my mom saying to me with tears in her eyes, she says, Trina, I've never seen nobody. And she would hold her little scraggly hands down, go down and come up. She said, go down and come up. She said, I've never seen nobody like you in my life. And that was just my story. That was me. And then I started trying to figure things out for my children. And this man, I said, you know what, I'll never have nothing with him, and 20 years was just long enough. And I talked to people, because people back then, it was like, God don't believe in divorce and all this. And I said, God don't believe in me being unhappy and miserable. So I had to learn, you don't always listen to people. People don't always give you the right advice. Not everybody, And I decided to divorce him, and I just started a business, and I got a job. I remember working at Federal Express, going through a temporary service. So I didn't never mind starting from the bottom. And that's probably one of the reasons Mama always said she never saw.
Can you talk about that? I have to stop you on that, because a lot of times when people hit rock bottom, I always hear about people, what job they wouldn't take. And I'm always baffled, because I'm like, but if you have children, if you want to feed yourself and you got to start from the bottom, like, why are people so egotistical of not taking a job, even if it's going to put food in your mouth and clothes in your back? Like, I never understood that.
I've never been that way. It's nothing that I have not done. Even when I was married to my children's father, his mother used to do work for people, like cleaning their houses. And when I didn't have any money or didn't have a job, she said, Trina, I'll let you go stay with these people. And it was these Caucasian people that may have been retired dentists or doctors or whatever. And I'd go over and clean up for them. and they'll have my little money laying there, $50. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta eat and take care of myself, take care of my children especially, yes, I will work. I've always figured out, I'm telling you, all my life, even at 9 years old, I was forming businesses and didn't even know it. If we were, after I wake all the little girls up and tell them, get up, we got to go and get these bottles. We get bottles together. And I was a foreman then. So I've always worked. They get up, get these bottles. We go to the store. We'll sell bottles. I've never been too proud or too ashamed to do whatever I had to do and knew how to make it. I'd iron people's sheets and charge them to iron sheets for them when I was very young, 9 or 10 years old. And working at Federal Express, people don't understand working a job like that. It was a new company in Memphis, and I got a job through a temporary service. But I listened to people say, you just have to listen. You can't sit there and think you're too good. Other girls were wearing pretty dresses. I didn't always have a pretty dress like this, but I had children. My children came first. So my mother always said, if you got one dress, wash it and iron it and keep it clean. So, when I worked there, I can remember hearing a girl say, I sure hope, because jobs became open, even though I was temporary. So you never know what's going to be out there for you. And she says, I sure hope she get the job. She was talking about me because they were going to interview 80 people and hire 10. And I had gotten an interview. And she said, I sure hope she get the job so she can buy her some clothes. So I had some really difficult times. And I got the job, thank God. But working at Federal Express, let me tell you something. People shouldn't feel that way because you can learn a lot. And I learned a lot working at Federal Express. Again, it was a young company. The owner at the time, his name was Fred Smith, and I'm sure he has ownership in it then now. And he used to come out and talk to us. But the time he would talk to us about upward mobility in his company. And of course, how the planes would come in at night and they would sort the packages out to go from city to city to city. And I would listen to him. And when I would listen to him, I wasn't listening to him like I wanted to be an old lady and retire at Federal Express for the rest of my life. I've always thought outside the box. I used to think to myself when he would talk to us, I used to think, he run a 24-hour service. Who keep these people children late at night? I knew that I was a damn good mother. So I thought about it. I said, I should open up a daycare center. And I did. I went and started off with 3 rooms. I went to this man and I talked to him. So you never be too proud because you never know what you can learn. I learned a lot from Federal Express. He had packages. He had cargo. I had precious cargo. I started the first 24-hour child care center way back in the day. And I said, the children are going to roll in and I'm going to give them the best, and let the parents know that they didn't have to worry about their children. The food, nutrition, as far as educators, I was going to have, teach them. I was just going to give them quality and all that. I learned a lot, like I say, from working at Federal Express. He pushed it in our head, quality service. And, now, it's hard to get good customer service, but I knew how to give it to the parents. And before I know it, I had a school. I started buying properties. I bought about acres of land and I built a child care center. So that's how I started. You're absolutely right. I totally agree. You can't turn down, just be too proud to say that I won't work this job, because you can learn from working on these jobs and carry it on to start your own business if you like.
Oh my gosh. I was complete. I've never even heard of a 24-hour daycare. I'm like, Lord, she has my prayers. Like, I mean, you talking about thinking outside the box. You remind me like a Walt Disney or somebody. Like, who thinks of that? And how, my next question is, how do you hire people that buy into your vision and execute that quality service you were just talking about? And then keep them on board.
And that's the thing. I'm a people person, like I said earlier, and I do love people. I'm concerned about people. And I wanted to put this childcare center. See, people understand me, and I'm going to tell you why. Women understand me because I am them. I have never changed from who I was. When I see young women, I don't think that I'm way up here. See, because I know where I came from. You understand? And I'm able to talk to them and I'm able to give back. That 24-hour childcare center, I knew how big of a need it was for mothers to have a good place, because I knew how I worried and was concerned about my own babies, And these babies, when they were with me, they were going to be in the best of care. Yes. And as far as the employees, you got to be good to your employees. You be good to your employees and treat people nice. People will help you. They will love you back. What you give, you'll get back in return. And that's what I did. I got back the same love that I gave. And you have to, again, you have to treat people right. You got to pay people. You give them, you pay them. And I help people. And I'm not, and this is the truth. I'm not bragging. That's just something I do. They used to have a term called free hearted. I've been like that all my life. So the people that came to work for me, you know, if I made money, I'm not going to sit over here and eat steaks and you don't eat nothing. You know what I'm saying? You got to have pork chops. I was good to my employees and still is. I'm going to always be good to people, whoever's in my life. You know, I'm not going to sit over here and be like a squirrel and harvest it all to bring it all to me. You know what I'm saying? So I was good. People worked for me for years and years and years and years and didn't go anywhere because, and they loved and they respected me because I respected them. And if they needed something, needed time off, and then the mamas, this is just a purpose. This is something that God have me to do because it's nothing that I have not seen. I ended up with so many children. Like I said, I bought property. I ended up building a building. Even after the second husband stole from me, I still ended up building a building. And it brings tears to my heart when I think about it, because this building, it was just something that I knew that I had to have for my young mamas and for the children. I wanted something new and really nice. I started out with those 3 rooms, but from there I grew. And it's just, I'm so proud because I grew where I didn't have anywhere to put children because I had a waiting list. But that 24-hour childcare, it really helped a lot of parents that work. See, especially in Memphis, because it's a distribution center. So everybody don't work 9 to 5. Some people work second shift and third shift. You got nurses, you know what I'm saying? And you have people that work odd hours at odd jobs, you know, transportation services and different things of that nature.
So what advice would you give the people? You know, I know a couple people are interested in daycares and, you know, they may have started or maybe thinking about starting. Any advice, any obstacles you had to overcome?
I think that with childcare, with me doing it as many years that I did it, and I think that people shouldn't go into a business like that just to go into the business. This is my personal feeling. Have a love for children, not just for money. You know, love the children because they really are our future. And children, people have to realize too, children don't forget. They think because they little children, they're going to grow up and forget. Be nice to the kids. You know, I love kids and I've always loved old people. And I don't play about those two, old people and little children. I said, now I'm getting old, so I hope somebody care about me as I become an old lady, you know, but yes, I truly say, you know, it's a great business for people that love children because it is a need for it. And I know with COVID, it has hit all of us, you know, in some type of way. But you know, people are working from home and different things like that. But people still, they're going to always need childcare, and not just childcare, good childcare. I think is an excellent business for any young woman or young man to go into. But just please, if you go into it for the right reason. You'll make money, but go into it for the love of the children. Love those babies.
Now let's get into Miss Dee's kitchen. I have to, you know, I'm always fascinated when people have an idea and then you're touring. I mean, you got a
Yes.
series, you got YouTube, and so many things going on. Like, how did you come up with that idea? And then how did you put the process, the scripts, the hiring, the auditions? Like, take us through that process.
Miss D's kitchen. It was me growing up, like again, as a kid. And these characters that I created, this is a real life. This is me growing up. These were real life people. We got one character named Sugar Pie. That was my nosy, as Miss D, I told you, she was my nosy ass grandmama. She never could mind her business. She lived across, like, you know, black folks, we always lived, mama lived across the street. Everybody lived on the same street, right? So
Right.
Sugar Pie lived across the street, like a couple of doors down from D. Her daughter, her only daughter, which was my mom, you know. So I played Miss D. Miss D was some kind of person. Everybody came to her. She never locked her door. Her door was always unlocked. And it was always a good time. She was everything to everybody. and meaning that if you bust your head, she'll tell you, hell, sit down over there. She'll stitch you up, So she was the doctor. She was cooking them chitlins, cleaning them chitlins, and she drank, always smoking a cigarette, talking plenty of stuff, and you name it was there at her house. I'm talking about all day long, and you're gonna hear the music from the house all the way out to the street. You probably hear some Al Green or somebody, but Miss D, she was some kind of woman, and it's time to laugh again. What made me put that together, we all been going through something. I lost a sister, I lost a nephew. Everybody done lost somebody. I ain't gonna say everybody, but we've been through some stuff with this COVID, and I want to take it back home. Take it back home of those days that we sat around. Grandmama had that plastic on our couch, and everybody, family and friends, we sat around and ate spaghetti and cornbread or whatever, family, friends, and I just want to bring it back. And everybody has always, laughed at me and thought I was just the life of the party, no matter where we were, and I just decided to bring this thing to life. Miss D's Kitchen. Pretty Tony, he's played by Tony Grant. Tony Grant had played in a lot of stuff. But Love Thy Neighbor, he was in, and I've had, I'm trying to think of some of the different actors that I've had. Palmer, he played one of my characters as well. I've had Coco Brown. She's a comedian. Tawanda Braxton, she played Blue as one of my characters. Blue is my bougie daughter, but the characters itself, you'll see somebody that sweet baby Miss D. Miss D like having younger friends, even though she was middle-aged. I say in her early 60s. She was a feisty woman, but her friends, she liked young women to be around her. Her best friend is probably in her 20s, which is Sweet Baby. And Sweet Baby, she's a ghetto ratchet heifer. And Misty is always telling her about herself because she's always cheating with somebody's man. But it's funny and it's fun. It keeps you laughing. And it's something that the kids can look at, because right now, like I say, as people, and especially, I'm a Black woman, as Black folks, we sat around and we looked at TV and we laughed. And everybody was family. Everybody was family. So it's Miss D and Family on YouTube. I hope everybody look at it and tell everybody about it. And we can make this thing a big thing and bring it to TV as well.
So about the touring, how did you, people who are interested in putting on plays, like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy to do. Like, so what was the process of putting a play together, production and finding the right people and then actually selling out the venues, how important that is as well?
Yeah. And I'm like, I was just amazed because people told me when I did my first show, they was like, put it it was a smaller venue because people are not going to come, you're new. And then they told me about other people, how other people, when they did their plays, they started out, nobody showed up and nobody's going to show up. And that's why I tell people all the time, what's for you is for you. And what's for that other person is for them. So don't tell me that ain't nobody going to show up. I've been like that again all my life. And when they told me, don't take it to this big venue. And I said, no, because when these people come out, I could already vision it. The first one, it was cold. It was in the winter. And I said, these little old ladies going to come out even with their fur. They're going to be of all ages. People, I could just vision. I said, people going to come from all ages. They going to love Katrina. And they going to come out. This is something good. They coming. Young. They're going to start at 18, 19, 20 and on up, until they 90 years old. And I said, when they look up, I want them to see chandeliers. And this particular venue has chandeliers. And I casted people, and people came to me and they say, I believe in what you're doing, and these were stars. They were like, I believe in what you're doing. I want to be a part of what you're doing. So it just, sometimes I say, I don't know, but I just know that I have been favored by God. I know. And when people came and told me when I was back in the dressing room, people are everywhere. So everything people told me that wouldn't happen happened. People were everywhere. They were lined up all around the block. So then I did one in Dallas, and the same thing. People were everywhere. And this was right after the COVID. You know what I'm saying? And they were saying people are not gonna come. Nobody's gonna come out. And so after the show, people were like, I just want to talk to you. How did you do it? How did you get people out? I mean, I want to do a play, but I want to know, what did you do to get the people out? So I tell you, God has shown me so much favor, and Lord knows I thank him. And I just got so much to give the people. It's just a matter of me getting myself out here, other people helping to get me. The people is what make me, and the reason why I did what I did and what I do. I told myself, I said, Trina, people are going to tell you whether or not they want you and whether or not they like you. And the people have shown me nothing but love. And when I started out, even on social media, just writing things and just being honest, especially with men as well as women, but I am a Black woman. So from me to them, telling them how I felt, even with the abuse, even as you read the book and you saw Miss Gert coming home with black eyes, as a little girl, and I saw that. And I'm telling women, don't stay if a man is kicking your butt. I'm not going to tell nobody. I tell you what I would tell my own daughters and what I would tell myself now. Even though I went through what I went through, I'm here to help other women, to tell them don't go through that. But I also don't tell people to give up on love. How people are quick to tell you to leave your man. No, don't leave your man. If he's a decent man and y'all can work through it, work through it. And I'm coming up with another play, and it's going to be called The Grass Ain't Greener on the Other Side. Because a lot of times we leave.
I like that title.
Like, because a lot of times we think that the grass is greener somewhere else, but it ain't. Because if you read my book, even though this man stayed out all night long, not that I should have stayed with him, I ended up with one. I stayed with a year that was worse than somebody that I had been with 20 years. So I just keep it real. No, you don't just leave your man because that other woman is telling you to leave. Sometimes it ain't as bad. Sometimes you can work through it. But if he kicking your butt, leave.
What about infidelity?
I can't deal with infidelity. You can forgive a person, and then they go back and they do it again and again and again. See, to me, I'm just going to keep it real with women. That is mental abuse. To me, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it going through nobody's phone. And I know it's a new day now. Young women are totally stronger than me. They stronger than me because I dealt with it. But I'm telling you, that stuff will mess with you mentally. If you love someone, and I'm just saying, if you love, I know some women probably can say they don't care. You can have somebody, I can have somebody. It's hard for me to deal with that. The infidelity, I can't do that. It's hard. And when people decide to step out on you, because I've been cheated on many times. But when they decide to step out on you, they decide. That's just like two people dancing, it takes two to dance. So why you don't get mad at the woman? You know what I'm saying? He had a choice. He made that decision to go out there and step out and cheat on you, So, I can't, it may be some, like I say, some women may be able to deal with it, but it's hard for me to deal with infidelity. That's me.
Let's talk about your nonprofit Blind Eye. And I like the fact that it's not just focused on domestic violence and providing guidance and programs, but for also, and you're including men, not just women, and then kids who witnessed that. Can you speak about that?
The Blind Eye Foundation. Well, I had a nephew that was on drugs. A few people in my family that was on drugs and lost their life really, really early. People that I was really, really, really close to. And that was on crack. And I never forget and say, and I don't say that it couldn't have happened to me because I grew up in a crack epidemic and it could have happened to me. Had people that I knew that actually put a crack pipe in their brother's mouth, and the brother ended up doing a life sentence, because he never could kick it, ended up robbing and all this other craziness. So, Blind Eye is where I don't want people to forget. I can't forget. I can't turn a blind eye, especially the people that's, on drugs. I see them and then I don't see them, So that's why blind eye came. And that's where I want to build a facility to sit some of these people down, because really they mentally, messed up, from the drugs. And now they have drugs that's stronger than crack. They got this stuff called fentanyl, and people have just been dying from these drugs, young people are just passing away. So that's what it's all about. And as far as the abuse don't just happen to women. I witnessed it was my great uncle, no, he was two greats, and I love that man. But his wife, as a little girl, I would stand there and watch her just abuse him, cuss him out, call him excuse me, talk about his mama. But I had to be about 5 or 6 years old. That's why I say children remember. We can remember things that happen. And for some reason, older people think that we're not going to remember. But she would call his mama. She said, your mama ain't nothing but a 2-bit hoe. And I was a little girl. And I used to think to myself, Uncle Carrie, please. He would sit in his chair and wouldn't do nothing. But men are abused too sometimes. I've seen that in a few cases where women would just cuss their man out in front of whoever. It could be a house full of people and they'll just cuss them out. And that's all abuse. That's mental abuse. You don't take away a man's manhood. You just don't. Some things, as my mother used to say, you just don't do. So, that's what blind eye is really about, domestic violence, as well as alcohol and drug, abuse, and us forgetting about, these people. They are really sick and they need some help, and let's sit them down and get a nurse or a doctor or something, because they need help and they can come back. Just don't give up on people, I care.
So what are your thoughts? Nowadays you see people, haven't gone through a home invasion yourself, you see people getting robbed and killed for being too flashy. Like, what are your thoughts about some of these people who just, just getting new to money and then they're showing it off, and envy and everything comes with that? What are your thoughts about that?
Buying the things that they want, that they worked hard for.
People who are, especially young people who are a bit too flashy. You hear about the old people, don't let people know what's in your pockets, stay low key sometimes. Like, what are your thoughts?
When I see people with a lot of jewelry or whatever, I guess I'm more so, I think that if people work hard, that's just me now. If people work hard for something, it's theirs. If that's what they, most people and most Black folks, we have had it hard. Ain't nobody gave us nothing. I work hard for everything that I've gotten. So say I want to take my money and go buy me a car, I think that's my business. Or if I want to put a mouthful of gold in my mouth, okay, I'm gonna mess up my teeth, but that's my business. I work for this money. There's nobody give it to me, But if I want to wear chains, but I've been robbed again. Somebody took my car. My daughter was like, Mama, look like something. I always said, what is it about you? She said, I know other people get robbed. I said, well, I guess they like my taste or something. I don't know what it is. I kind of joked it off, but somebody robbed me, took my car. And I don't think it's right to steal or take from nobody, no matter what. Why would you take somebody's life? You got the opportunity to get out there and work and get the things that you want. Everybody, we're in America, so anybody can do anything that they want. You don't have to compare or compete with nobody. Just do what you do, But that's how I feel, about the jewelry thing. I mean, it's bad and sad to know that somebody will just pull a gun on somebody and take their stuff, regardless of who they are. But nobody has the right to take nothing, or prey on another person and rob them. I don't think so. And take their life for their stuff. It ain't yours, Keep your hand to yourself. All the little stuff that they look. Keep you don't mess with nobody in their stuff now. You just don't.
Right. Let's talk about the record label. Let's talk about the studio, and then also your publishing company. I want to get into the business side so that people can get an idea of that as well.
The record label right now, my daughter and my son, they're working with that. I kind of left that alone when I started doing what I'm doing now, because I can multitask, but I like to perfect the things that I do. And my hands are really full with my stage play. And right now, with my book, of course, and my YouTube, my 8 episodes that I just filmed. And I hope everybody go to YouTube and watch them, because it's really funny. Yeah. And as far as publishing, I published my own book. for now. And I have a second book that's going to be coming out called Erotic Sisters. So basically, that's where I am.
That's good. And can you talk about the benefits of self-publishing in case people don't know?
Right now, I'm still kind of new at this myself. I just didn't want to write my stuff off to people. I don't think if you don't fully understand something, don't just give your stuff away and then later on, somebody else have full ownership. So what I decided to do was publish and learn more myself. Even if I have to be like the lady that wrote Harry Potter, and how she waited some years. But right now, I'm still in the making of learning the publishing of, but I wanted all rights, in the meantime of my books and everything that I do, copyright, everything.
Okay. Do you have any stories that stand out as far as what people have learned from what they've taken from your book?
I'd like to ask you, did you learn anything from it? Because you read the whole entire book. I'm just curious to know.
I would say out of the whole thing, me being young and of course in a relationship, how it's important to have someone that's equally yoked. I think a lot of times, especially, I think you talk about your book, we as women will find somebody, we'll lower our standards. We'll be with someone who's not even business minded, and you see the red flags and you ignore them, all these different things. And it just brought me to the fact that how important it is. I mean, because you only have one life to live. And I mean, one wrong decision can cost you your life. And I think us as, especially younger women, I'm 31, but we don't really think about that. And just reading your book, it just showed me how time flies. And, and then also when I do have kids, if I was ever in that situation, to not use my kids as an excuse not to make myself happy. And that's what I was getting outside of the business.
Yes.
The business side too.
Love that,
that's
Kat.
really touched me. Yeah.
I love that, Kat. And you are a young woman, and I've been your age, but I'm older now. And I'm able to tell young women basically that, because out of the men that I was with, I was open and I was honest because, I look at life as a generational thing, things that I went through, other women gonna go through, that I saw my mother go through and her friends go through. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm trying to be as honest as I can with women to tell them, I showed it all, even if you're in a relationship and a man is, your career, you're out here trying to do things and make things happen and work and all this kind of stuff. And, you do want somebody that think, basically on the same lines as you. And another thing too, that, and it might sound selfish, but I work hard. And as a woman, not that I'm trying to be mean, but I've worked hard all my life and I won't let no man, and this is just me, I'm telling you, dictate to me about my money. It was years, if you read in the book, where I would take my shoes and have to hide them in my girlfriend's trunk of her car, because he didn't want me to have a decent, pair of shoes. I had to justify, money. And once I started making money, I made sure, excuse me, once I started making money, I would never, justify my money or what I do, have my money that I worked hard from some man, that I gotta, had, what I spent or what I made or what I worked hard for. I didn't buy myself something that I wanted to buy myself, or somebody that's just mean, and cruel, I won't do that. I won't. And I try to tell young women, because women, back in the day, my mom and them, they
Oh, I think she froze.
look like we went. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was about to say, I think she froze.
I'm sorry about that, but those men would come home sometime on Fridays and beat those women. You know what I'm saying? Just beat them up, or may have a woman across the street with babies, So those women went through a lot, and I went through a lot. And I tell other young women, you're still young, and they can say you're going to forever be young. That's a lie. You're not going to forever be young. That's a lie. And you can tell yourself that you look like you look when you're okay. But I think as women, you know, and again, it's not that I'm being selfish, but I am a woman. And I'm a die black woman. This is the color I am. So I can only speak from me, and what I went through as a black woman. No, I was not privileged. Did nobody give me nothing. Everything I've ever got, I worked hard for it. So as a woman, I think when we work hard, we shouldn't have to justify every penny. And it's the way, whatever way that when you with a man, and you started off one way. I know when I first got married to my first husband, I was ironing his shirt. And my girlfriend said, my mama said, put that iron down, unless you're going to keep ironing that shirt, for the rest of ironing for him. So I say to women, it's good to be good to your man and for him to be good to you, but still don't start off where you got to justify, especially your money. Ain't nobody going to tell me what to do with my money. Just bottom line, I don't play by my money now. You ain't going to tell me not to buy my children nothing. You ain't going to tell me not to buy myself nothing. You ain't going to tell me what to do with my money. It's mine. I work for it.
So what's the vision for yourself now?
Oh, the vision for myself now is this play. Take it out and people going to see something new. These folks finna laugh. I'm talking about some real good, funny stuff, And Miss D, like I say, she do a little cussing. It ain't no hard cussing, because Miss D, I know she could stand back on her legs. She weigh about 100 pounds and use that MF word. She can call you 3 of them. But this Miss D, she done toned it down. So it's where children can, but you're gonna be able to relate. If anybody remember, like I say, even Red Fox and Aunt Esther, they're gonna get a kick out of Miss D. I mean, so that's the next chapter. Going to YouTube and getting another season in HBO or somebody picking it up. I just see that if everybody just start looking at it and people love my writing. They love my writing, and like I said, I just want to give the world the time that I have left on this earth, whatever years I have left, as far as my health and my strength. I want to give it to the world. I want to help young ladies. Oh my God, I'm partial to my women, to my men too, but my women, I got so much. Oh my God, I'm on the phone with women all the time, and people are really hurting, and people are going through a lot, and it's not a lot of grandmamas like I had back in the day. Older women that's my age now, a lot of them, and not all of them, but a lot of them don't. It's just that you just don't see that no more. I didn't see it even in daycare. I didn't see a lot of grandmamas coming and involved with the grandkids, like when you hear me talk about my mother, And I'm not saying all of them are gone, but people like, back in the day, black folks didn't even have daycare centers. Everybody babysit. You took that baby over whoever house.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, but I just want to give what I got until I just ain't got nothing else to give the world. I just got so much love to give the world. The guys, and like I said, I took the fellas off the street. The bad guys, they sat down, they done sat down and talked. I really think that's how I got out the house from the home invasion. Somebody connected with me and said, we can't kill this lady. We can't kill her. She got too much she got to do. And that's what I want to do. Everybody, the way I look at young women, like even yourself, Kat, y'all all are my girls. Y'all are my daughters. That's the way I look at y'all. I love y'all so much. And I just want to see everybody do good. I want to see my people, my black folks rise up. Because I grew up in that era, where we couldn't go over there and we couldn't do this. We can do whatever the hell we want to now. We ain't got to steal. We ain't got to take, And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not changing nothing about me. I'm going to keep it real for the people. I want to be that next girl that, that's the world know about, that's allowed me to speak to the world, to change the world, to help people. I just want people to get up off their ass, excuse my French, and find their purpose.
Yeah.
And like you doing, I look at you and I admire you, and I know everybody got to know they have a purpose. And now people are really doing the damn thing. And I'm happy to see it. I am so happy. I love to see folks do good.
So when you bring your play and book
that's
to
what I want to
DC,
do.
I'm being selfish now. So when do you bring in the play to DC?
I am, you know what? I was in New York about a week ago and looking at New York, Newark, DC. I want to go to Connecticut. I'm coming into the Tri-Cities too, and I would definitely be in DC. I mean, y'all have shown me so much love. So much love. So I would definitely be there. Do you think the people will come out to see Miss Dees?
Of course. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. Okay. And please, y'all go to my website. Also go to my social media handlers, Instagram, and that's MS Katrina Walker. Miss Katrina Walker. And also go to YouTube, y'all. Come on, show me some love. Come on, you like to laugh. She keeping it real, I'm telling you. Miss D got a white woman running through the hood. Y'all need to go on there and see that. And it's Miss D and family, and laugh. Let's get back to laughing again. Some of that good old-fashioned laughter, We got to change our thinking, you know what I'm saying? And just get back to having fun. Get out here. We can make that money, but let's laugh. Let's have some fun.
And definitely get her book. This is a must-have. You see how beautiful? This is a beautiful picture.
Oh, you like that picture? That's an old picture. I'm not as pretty as I was, y'all.
Oh, please, whatever.
But it's me,
Yeah.
I might need to go give me some work. Ain't that's what?
Oh no.
So.
Oh man, but I have to say thank you. I mean, the book is amazing. And I'm going to start doing a book club, and I want to take a deeper dive, have you back. We take a deeper dive in your book and really have like a session, and then have your website, and we can really thumb through this and have a session about your book, because I think it's something I definitely don't want to skip over, and I want people to know that not only they can apply it to their life, but their business, and then they can share it with others. And I'm really interested in taking a deep dive into your book as well.
Thank you. I would love to, let me know anything that I can do. And if anybody want that book, they can also go on my website in the little card, and I'll autograph it and send it to them. I'll send them too. Tell them, Kat. Go to my website, MissKatrinaWalker.com. And if y'all wondering why that hurricane was named after me, I'm the sweet one. I'm the nice Katrina. Miss, and it's spelled Katrina, Katrina, Walker.com. I love all y'all. And I wish everybody the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.